Hey guys, it's Rosie Mum Anna, and today I'm doing the first in my new series of videos which are dedicated or directed at parents of children who want to become or have become dance or gymnastics students, and sort of like what to expect, what you'll need, that sort of thing. So in that theme, the first of these videos is if your child is a dancer or gymnast, including a rhythmic gymnast. This is all the equipment you will need at home, none of the equipment you won't, and why these are good and okay and why some others aren't. So obviously you will need something to wear. So it's gymnastics, like this is a rhythmic leotard with a skirt, but obviously plain ones, or leggings and shirt to dance and that sort of thing. And the reason why you do wear form-fitting clothes like that is twofold. One is so people can see the shapes you are making with your body, because that is very important for technique and that sort of thing. And two, because it is not dangerous. You need tight clothes so you don't put your hand on like extra material in trousers as you're trying to handstand and catch yourself at the waist, or and your shirts don't slide up and over your head, that sort of thing. So there is a reason to it. If you're doing gymnastics in a gym that just wears leotards, just know that the new safe sport regulations allow them to wear like bar shorts or gym shorts over them, or leggings, even in competitions. So yeah, also there is a difference between that and like a competition costume, which if you are competing you will eventually need to hire or buy these, but as a recreation student there is no need to have them until you are performing in something, and then you will get specific equipment, advice as to what you need. So then you would also need, for dancing for example, dance shoes specific to the style that you are doing, or the styles that you are doing. You can't tap dance in ballet shoes, you can't ballet dance in tap shoes, so if you're doing both, you will need both. And then in rhythmic gymnastics, they wear like these little toe shoes which allow them to turn, that sort of thing. I think these are also worn in lyrical, but yeah, so you will need that sort of equipment. Then we get into like the kids practicing at home. Now, it's like lots of kids get into dance and gym because you can't stop them flipping off things anyway and that sort of thing, and I totally understand that. But you've also got to understand that kids can do a lot of damage at home, even just make things hard for themselves by learning a skill with incorrect form, meaning making it twice as hard for them to then learn it correctly, or forming bad habits, or hurting themselves at home and then giving themselves a mental block about the skill. So unless you're a coach and you are actively supervising your child, drills and shapes and that sort of thing, fine to practice. Stretching, conditioning is great, but no new moves and that sort of thing. It won't help you get it earlier. But that said, I know it's very hard to police, but some things that are good to have at home are this is a balance board. This is a wood one with a rubber top, so it gets your core in shape and you practice standing on it, going on your toes, going down to plie. You can do spinning work on it, that sort of thing, and it's not dangerous. It is good for your core, good for your balance and that sort of thing. Once you've learnt a safe stretching warm-up and stuff in class, these can be really good. These are just stretch bands. I buy mine off Wish and eBay for $2, and there's a couple of different types. There's those elastic ones and a more firm cotton one, and this you run through D-rings, and that's to help stretch your legs higher and stuff. These shouldn't be used by beginners, and you should never follow along to YouTube tutorials that you haven't seen and made sure your child is safe and comfortable doing. That can cause so much damage. Then another thing that's great is up here behind me you can see a chin-up bar, and that is purely for conditioning. That one can be taken off the wall and then used as a bar on the ground to do push-ups and sit-ups, and even work on bar handstands if she was an artistic gymnast, that sort of thing. So that's another thing you'll need. You'll need to make sure if your gymnast's hair or dancer's hair touches their collar, that it is out of their face entirely. Vision, everything, it needs to be safe. Now, if you had a rhythmic gymnast, when they first start apparatus, they want to be doing it. You don't have to order a very expensive rhythmic hoop. They're fine practicing with the child's hoop that you get from the toy shop. A great place to order ribbons when they first start is eBay or something. As I said, they're like $1. They're 4 meters. They're like figure proof, that sort of thing. Then when they're a bit older, you might want to get them some clubs. Like safety knee pads are individual to the gymnast, but sometimes these can be necessary. And the last two things, I would recommend a fitness ball. I can't recommend these highly enough, just for even if you're sitting down watching the telly, they work your core and stuff. One with a base like this that has resistance band is good for everyone in the family. And I don't think you need one of these, but they're great if you can get on a tumble track. Ours is on the living room floor. Sure. Ours is on the living room floor because it's not nice weather outside, and I think it almost has been since we got it. So that is all the equipment you need if your child is getting seriously into dance and gymnastics. And I don't recommend much more than that because, as I said, you shouldn't be learning new skills at home. All the core conditioning can be done with what I said. You don't need, everything. Clothes and stuff don't need to be the most expensive brand, but like shoes, you want to be the most expensive that you can. And yeah, that's about it. Also, I recommend giving your kids a notebook to use as a diary so they can note any corrections they're given or messages, communication to and from the gym. But aside from that, the next video in this series is going to be what you need to think about before becoming, if your child wants to do dance or gymnastics, things you need to know, like expenses, commitments, studios, how to go about finding one, whether you want a rec competition studio, that sort of thing. So please subscribe so you get notified of that one. Please comment, and share this video if you want to, and let me know if you think I'd like your channel. Bye.